The aim of today's presentation is to enforce the idea that you need to change things if you want to get different results. This is the third in a series of episodes where we address the curse of busy work. So if you'd like some guidance on how to overcome busy work, stick with me for a little while and I'll explain some ideas for you. The first idea I'd like to share with you about change is, let's take an analogy or a metaphor from biology, the idea of metamorphosis. What kind of big changes do we need to make, though, in order to escape the curse of busy work? Well, let's have a look at three main areas that we can start to work on. The first main area is we can change how we decide things. We can change how we make decisions. We've already discussed how we can filter decisions by setting up certain tests for ourselves. We can analyse the decisions that we're going to make and ask ourselves, is this going to be useful? We can ask ourselves, what's going to happen if we don't make this decision? We can ask ourselves, what is the outcome that this decision is going to provide? If you've tried to filter a particular problem or a decision and it doesn't satisfactorily answer those questions, then I suggest that you're in the throes of a poor decision, or perhaps not even a decision at all. Greetings, fellow seekers. I'm not going to deceive you. Yesterday's episode was a bit of a shit show because it was supposed to be guiding people into not getting sucked into busy work, and it became an exercise in busy work itself. I tried my best, but I ended up with convoluted, intertwined ideas such as the second curve and the other stuff. So I'll try and make good on that, and I'll separate those two items and put them into separate videos in the future. Today, I'm just going to talk about phase one of getting out of busy work in terms of a metamorphosis, making radical changes which are going to enable you to overcome the curse of busy work. So that being said, let's get started. As I've already inferred, to get out of busy work, if you're afflicted by it, requires change. It requires big change. And so I've taken the nature's way, the metamorphosis metaphor, as a way of describing that big change. Because what you need to do is you need to change how you decide things, you need to change how you prioritize things, and you need to change how you measure your outcomes. And if you can nail those three things, you can get out of busy work quite effectively. What you're looking for really is a shift in your awareness about how problems are raised and how work is done. If you can move away from being reactive and become more proactive, as your awareness grows, you become more adept at strategic thinking. And as you become more emotionally and rationally grounded, what's going to happen is that you're going to experience an upgrade. It's like taking on a new program, an upgrade in the program in your phone or your computer. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be downloading new ways of thinking about things and how you approach getting things done. The result of the upgrade is going to be that you're going to have greater intelligence and focus. You're going to have greater leverage over the kinds of decisions you make, and you're going to be able to also leverage your outcomes so that your outcomes are more precise and more noteworthy, shall we say. The busy work curse, of course, involves you getting sucked into all sorts of little vortexes, going down wormholes. Excuse me. Busy work means that you end up flailing all over the place, just inventing things to do. But if you're a strategic thinker and you've had your emotional and rational upgrade, because you made that decision to make that metamorphosis, that big change. What I'd like to suggest to you is that you don't engage in decision making which doesn't satisfy those criteria about the kind of outcome you wish to receive, the kinds of leverage that you wish to apply, and also the kind of strategic thinking that you like to engage in order to get your decision completed. Another change that we can make in order to overcome the curse of busy work is learning how to prioritize. One of the major issues I've faced in my work is that I'm a bit of a grazer. And by that, I mean I will wander over to one task, do a little bit of it, wander over to another task, do a little bit of it. And I've done this for quite a long time and managed to convince myself that I was getting lots of things done by taking on little small incremental changes piecemeal. In fact, I wasn't getting lots of things done. I was getting lots of tiny actions completed, but I wasn't getting the outcomes that I require because I wasn't bringing anything to its finishing point or fruition. This was a very frustrating situation to be in. It's one of the prime symptoms of curse of busy work, is that you find yourself flailing around, chasing your own tail. That being said, a third major change that we can make as we seek to overcome the curse of busy work is how we measure our outcomes. If you have a clear idea of what the outcome is that you're seeking to achieve, you're more likely to be able to focus on that one thing. But if you don't have an idea of what the outcome is, and as I have done, even take a perverse pride in the fact that you don't know what the outcome is going to be, you're going to find yourself lost, out at sea without a compass. So what we're looking for really, in order to escape the curse of busy work, is a change of awareness. I'd like to let that sink in for a little while, because simply saying a change of awareness isn't really very instructive. Let me put it this way. What I'd like to encourage a person who wants to escape busy work to do is to shift from reactive mode into proactive. And this requires an emotional and a rational reset. You might go further and say that you need to upgrade the systems. And we know what happens when we upgrade a system in our phone or on our laptop. Usually it results in smoother operation, wider application, greater access. Well, if we engage in a rational and emotional upgrade of our own, it's going to facilitate better outcomes. It's also going to improve the intelligence that we bring to bear on the problems that we face. We're going to have greater capacity for problem solving. We're going to have greater capacity for decisiveness. We're going to develop greater resilience in our approaches and our attitudes to things. And we're also going to be able to take action with more certainty. As a result of the awareness change that you make by engaging in an emotional and rational upgrade, you're going to stop reacting to things, and you're going to start to engage in what I like to call strategic action. So what can we do? How can we engage in an emotional and rational upgrade? The first thing we can do emotionally is to reject triggers. Reject those situations which cause us to lose our patience or encourage us to get angry, confused, frustrated. Have a think about the range of emotions that you experience when you are facing difficulty. Put them to bed. Name them, call them out, and tell yourself, we don't do this anymore because there's work to be done. So that's the first step towards an emotional upgrade. A rational upgrade is going to involve making pure decisions based on pure outcomes and engaging in actions which provide the best amount of leverage possible to enable you to get where you want to go. The sum total of these things is raised strategic action and raised strategic awareness. I've already suggested that you just choose one main object of the day to conquer, to overcome, to complete. Once you start thinking in terms of, I've got one main thing I need to do today, instead of having a wish list of all sorts of vague ideas, you're going to become more strategically aware and you're going to place yourself more strategically into the game. Remember, most people expend 80% of their energy, but only 20% of the activity yields the proper results. Called Pareto principle. We're seeking to escape that limitation. So just to rehash and revisit, to overcome busy work, you're going to engage in a metamorphosis, a change in how you decide things, how you prioritize, and how you measure your outcomes. And in order to facilitate that, you're going to engage in an upgrade, rational and emotional upgrade. And those upgrades are going to improve your capacity and your intelligence. And they're going to enable you to become more of a strategic thinker, somebody who takes strategic action. I recently engaged in a project to assist people with their New Year's resolutions. And I didn't follow through as well as I should have done. I dissipated my efforts. I'm better than I was. I have improved to some extent, and that is a consequence of lots of practice and lots of application and hard work. Strategically speaking, I had a good plan, a good way to operate, which was to put the material in front of people through December, advertise, push, notify. However, I haven't done as well as I imagined I would when I set out my strategic plan. And now a little hint or tip for you. If, like me, you start out with lots of ideas and you don't follow through, a great way to make best capital and get best leverage from the ideas that you engage in is to use guiding principles. For example, the New Year's resolution materials that I'm providing, and if you'd like to click in the link below, you can download 2 bundles of goal setting and planning materials. The principles which underpin these New Year's resolutions materials is the same no matter what time of year you start. The idea that underpins this whole project is that if you want to make a major change, you have to do some preparation and practice, and then once you've done the preparation and practice, monitor your outcomes and keep a record of what you're doing in order to assist yourself to succeed. These basic principles are applicable across the year. Where I'm going with this is that if you do wish to be strategic in your thinking, start to think in terms of principles. Guiding principles don't care who you are. They will operate equally well or badly according to how you apply them. You could be a king, a prince, or a pauper. A guiding principle will work for both people equally. Principle of compounding. By making an effort and raising your standards incrementally on a day-to-day basis. Guiding principle. The principle of having gratitude and seeing gratitude in your life, which enables you to capitalize on events that hitherto you would have been unaware of. It's a guiding principle. The principle of preparing your goals and following through is a guiding principle. And the principle of engaging in strategic thinking by upgrading your emotional and your rational presence is a guiding principle. So if you want to get the best bang for buck out of the things that you do, start to think in terms of principles. Start to think in terms of the principle that busy work is low outcome, but strategic action equals high outcome and better leverage. Now, I hope that this has been useful to you. Tomorrow, I'm going to shoot an episode which will instruct you on how to fail at conquering your busy work, as a means of illustrating how busy work operates on us. I'm going to encourage you to go through a mental exercise of failing on purpose so that you can see the processes that you can apply in order to fail and ensure that you fail. And by so doing, you will have better insight on how to succeed because you'll know what not to do. So stick with me. Please like and subscribe. Please have a look at the downloadable links and the clickbait below. Please make comments if you have any to make. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. And I'd like to leave you with one final thought, if I may. And that final thought is, whatever it is you dare to do or dream, begin it now.